Kia ora. As we head in towards the weekend, a real shift in the weather as we head in towards the rest of Friday. A strong, cold, southerly change makes its way up and across the country, brings about some fairly hefty showers and even some thunderstorms towards the south island, some strengthening winds, and that switch to some much colder temperatures. You can see down towards the south, this band of cloud through here, that's that southerly change ahead of it. It's not a bad looking day for places like Christchurch and up towards Marlborough. We'll find temperatures rising up in towards the high 20s, perhaps even 27, 28 degrees Celsius. But behind it, it's a real change. As this front runs northwards, you can see we'll find that wet weather making its way up through Otago and Canterbury. Could be one or two fairly hefty thunderstorms in there as well, perhaps even with some hail running towards the likes of, say, Banks Peninsula, with those strong southerly winds as we head towards the evening. And that's going to result as well in a real drop down in our temperatures too. You can see for the North Island, we'll find some showers once again springing up across the Bay of Plenty. But I think we are going to find a lot of the activity will be down south with this southerly change, which continues to move northwards as we head through the night time. So more of those showers and thunderstorms in towards parts of North Canterbury and Marlborough. And we find that cold air making its way up in towards Wellington and the central parts of the country as we go through towards the night time as well. On this front here, you can see we have those showers reaching in towards Waitomo. They'll move away as we head through the morning. But I think we are going to find that change will bring a very, very dramatic different feel to the weather for Friday and Saturday. So here we are looking at our nighttime temperatures. It's worth saying, I think some of these temperatures will be a little bit on the cooler side as we go through and towards the early hours of the morning. I think those winds are making it feel colder as well. Those strong, perhaps even gale force southerlies around the parts of the coast of the South Island into a place like Banks Peninsula, and rather squally with those thunderstorms as well. But you'll see as we go through in towards Friday itself, that front continues to move northwards, bring some showers, perhaps some heavier falls of rain in towards parts of the eastern side of the North Island. You can see as we head towards the end of the day, that wet weather up in towards the north will be quite heavy for a time as well. And with a classic southerly squeezing through Cook Strait, we'll find our winds picking up through there as well. Perhaps gusts at 80, 90 kilometres an hour through around the Marlborough Sounds in towards Wellington. So we have got a few watches in place as well for those winds through Wellington and the Marlborough Sounds around that Marlborough coast as well as we go through the daytime on Friday, 2 p.m. to about 11 p.m. on Friday. Those winds reaching gale or even severe gale in the most exposed areas. And that heavy rainfall piling on towards that eastern coast with low pressure forming just towards the north and the east of the country, keeping that wet weather feeding towards parts of Hawke's Bay and up through Gisborne at Tairafti as well. And that runs not just through Friday afternoon, but also through Saturday and in towards Sunday morning as well. So for a rather prolonged period of wet weather, we may find some severe weather warnings issued for that region as we head through Friday. But it is, I think, going to be a wet start, a few showers around those western parts. They'll move away quite nicely. We've got some fine weather behind it for parts of Waikato, even up towards Auckland, those early showers clearing away. A different story on that eastern coast. So we'll find it's generally a cloudy day with showers or longer spells of rain, some heavy falls, and with that watch in place for places like Gisborne, you find it runs across in towards the Bay of Plenty as well. Some fairly beefy showers forming there, and again, that risk of afternoon thunderstorms through the Bay of Plenty and down towards those northern parts of Hawke's Bay and Gisborne. But you'll notice places like Waikato and up in towards Auckland, once those early showers clear away, most of the time it is looking fine and dry. A few isolated showers still lingering around the eastern parts of Auckland up in towards Northland by the end of the afternoon. But I think an improving story there. More cloud though, pushing towards southern parts of Taranaki, on towards that eastern coast as well. And I think for Wellington, we'll keep a fair amount of cloud as well, and still a risk of a few showers through the daytime. And it will be feeling colder in those stronger winds as well. Taking a look at our top temperatures for the day, it's a bit of a misleading affair. 16 degrees Celsius for Wellington. But to get that 16, you've got to be up around about midnight. I think with that cold change coming through, we are going to find much of the day a good 2 or 3 degrees cooler than that 16. Similarly, up towards Napier, you're going to find that the best of the temperatures will be very early in the morning. As that southerly change runs through, our daytime temperatures are going to be feeling a little bit cooler than that. So a little bit misleading our top temperatures for the day. I think it will feel colder, especially if you're out in those winds as well. Down on the South Island, we start off with that wet weather around the likes of northern Canterbury up in towards Marlborough. A fair bit of cloud sticks there through the daytime. Down south, we've got some showers to watch out for. And yes, with the return of that cold air, some of those showers will have a bit of a wintry feel to them above about 800 metres. So really high up. But I think if you're looking out towards some of the higher hills, you will see a bit of a dusting of snow about those higher points there. But it will improve nicely for the likes of, say, Otago and southern Canterbury through the daytime, and not a bad looking weekend for you as we go through there. But we have got those colder temperatures for the likes of, say, Canterbury, up in towards Marlborough, particularly the eastern side, east of, say, the Kaikoura ranges. We'll keep that onshore feeder there, still rather blustery around Banks Peninsula first thing. And we are going to find still some showers in towards the foothills. I think generally drier down towards the Canterbury Plains, then towards the coast. But I think we'll keep a fair covering of cloud through the daytime. What will be quite noticeable for those areas in the east will be a very different feeling day. Temperatures today for Thursday could climb to 27, 28 degrees Celsius for Blenheim and Christchurch. Take a look at the temperatures we've got going on Friday. 13s and 14 degrees Celsius through parts of Canterbury. A much colder feeling day. And our nighttime temperatures as we go through the night Friday and towards Saturday, particularly down we get those clearer skies through parts of Otago and those inland parts of Canterbury back down to 2s and 3s. So a chilly old start to Saturday. Now remember, for Saturday we've got that watch in place for those eastern parts of the north, and that low pressure continues to sit to the far north, and it keeps that feed of air in towards the eastern side. Generally a better story out west, but we have got those southeasterly winds, and I think they will be fairly brisk and blustery through parts of those central inland parts of the north and parts of Taranaki as well. Seeing some rather blustery conditions through there. They're still squeezing it through the likes of Cook Strait as well. But I think we are going to keep more cloud and wet weather on the eastern side. Down south, high pressure rules the roost and things generally are fine and dry, albeit with a chilly start today on Saturday. And then for Sunday, well, there's not an awful lot of change in the pressure pattern. You can see we're still got that low pressure. It is slowly pulling down towards the south and east, so it's an improving story through the daytime. Still a few showers springing up through the bay, plenty there, but a better story down south. Clear skies, bit of patchy cloud developing later on in the day, but I think generally a good looking weekend across most of the South Island. But for the North Island, that eastern coast is going to bear the brunt of that low pressure system. More wet weather in store, so please do keep up to date with those severe weather watches and the forecasts. But an improving story out towards the places, say Auckland, as we head towards the end of the weekend. That's it from me. This is Metservice.com.